How's it going, guys? Dan here, and today we're going to take a deep dive into the latest Old World Warhammer Community post, which is the release of the Warriors of Chaos. I'm, for one, dead excited about this. Chaos are my original army from the olden days, and then this gives me an excuse to, although I do try and play them regularly, to give all my old models a proper dust off and get them back into play with some new rules and some janky new stuff. Officially at the halfway point now as well of the release schedule. This is Faction 5 out of 9, so and we're only, came out, I want to say February? Well, if you say start of the year, we're about, if you say February, I think 6 months in. It's not bad. We're averaging like a faction every month or two. I know it's not been quite that smooth and streamlined, but it's still good. Hopefully, maybe this time next year we'll have all 9 out, maybe some more, things like Kislev, Cathay, things like that. But no, let's dive straight in. So, battalion box looks solid. I know a lot of people don't rate on foot Warriors of Chaos in this edition. I don't think necessarily it's because they're bad, like, models to run in terms of rules for the points. I think they're a solid core choice. I think just the difference in this edition seems to be, now that Chosen Knights are a thing, they couldn't really leave regular Chaos Knights in the special slot with them. So they've moved them to core, and unfortunately it seems like most people would, especially in this edition that's heavily dominated by monsters and fast-moving units, most people would rather, given the option, spend their points on elite cavalry core to elite on foot core, if that makes sense. Other than like Bretonia, most factions, I believe, their core cav is usually like light cav, and then the special and rare cav gets into the more heavy cav. So the fact you can have heavy elite cav for your core, it's a no-brainer really. So plus then that means you can just sort of minimize your if you're playing a 2,000 point game, minimize your 500 points core into 2 or 3 units of Chaos Knights, and then it gives you more options to flesh out the rest of your list with your Dragon Lords, your Sorcerers, your Rare, your Special, and it almost feels like you're not taking any core at that point. So although I think it's a solid box, like say the 10 Knights, the 32 Warriors, the 2 Chariots, which I can believe be built as the Gore Beast ones as well. I think this is a solid box. I know the 2 Armies of Infamy are... Oh, look at that artwork, I love it. So we've got the Marauding Wolves of the Sea and the Mounted Heralds of Darkness. Personally, I was hoping for some on foot love and a bit of support to where the knights are to give people more of a reason to take them. I mean, we don't know what's in the Marauding Wolves of the Sea. Marauding Wolves of the Sea. I'm hoping it's not just pure Marauders. That would be cool. Hopefully you can splash in a few on foot warriors. They could get... That could be the one, actually, I suppose, thinking about it now, second opinion. If the Mounted Heralds of the Sea has a caveat that sort of everything has to be mounted, that might be your new route to take, like the Knights that most people are taking now. But the Marauding Wolves of the Sea might not have an option to take Chaos Knights. And then if it gives things certain special rules, but you can only take, say, Chaos Warriors and Marauders, then that might be a reason to take Chaos Warriors on foot. So, looking forward to that. 2 special characters. One of them is an unknown lady. So new special character featuring the Arcane Journal, and more on her in due course. So I have a suspicion this is going to be a female Marauder captain, just because I know there's a really nice female Marauder model. But I don't know if that's just speculation, but we might as well wait for more information on that. But the interesting one is Galrock the Great Drake. So Galrock's coming back. Now, there's no new models in this release, which is understandable, because I think Slaves of Darkness / Warriors of Chaos have probably the most modern sculpts in the old world game, as they've had a lot of continued supports in AOS. So I can understand that, but it's strange that Galrock is returning as a named character, but I believe, just going to skip through some of this here, in the first 2 made to order waves coming back, he's not one of the models, which is strange in my opinion. So my theory is, as there's no real dedicated Chaos mount for Dragon Lords, or Sorcerer Lords. Basically, there's no Dragon mount model officially, other than going down for the old 80s star models of the old dragons for the old fantasy range. So potentially, since our dragon has a 2-headed variant dragon mount, and Galrock's a 2-headed dragon mount, maybe we'll see a new model sculpt in the future as a joint kit. So you could probably build it as Garruk the Great Drake / mounted Chaos Lord on top, and then maybe a different head option. I don't know. That would be cool. I'd definitely buy it. But yeah, and then obviously the 2 armies in for me, as I said, Marauding Wolves of the Sea and the Mounted Herald of Darkness. And new magic items, all that jazz everybody else gets. New dice, some cards. The cards I would imagine should hopefully have the Law of Chaos for the dedicated god signature spells. And yeah, and I'm so glad, as much as I do like the Age of Sigmar Warriors of Chaos and Chaos Knights, and I've seen a lot of people do justice converting them over, and they do look like mint. I'm really happy they brought back the old rank and flank regiment style old Chaos Warriors and Knights. Selfishly, because I have an old collection, so if I ever want to buy more, at least they'll match. But that's just me. And I do love just the aesthetic of them all hunched together, you know, sort of shield wall. I know the new ones definitely look more dynamic, but I just like this menacing slow march of Chaos Warriors into battle. I think it just looks awesome. And yeah, like I say, a lot of the Warriors of Chaos range is, I'd like to say, fairly new sculpts. New being, obviously, you know, around 10 years old compared to some of the older fantasy stuff, which is like 20 to 30 years old. So, yeah, I can see why there's no new sculpts yet, because I think they hold their own well. Granted, some of them can look a lot older, but I still think they're fine. They match the aesthetic of the army. Yeah, I'm nothing to say here. my only grievance with this post is this. So I'm glad they're bringing Skinning Wolves back and giving them some rules. That should be spicy. But why couldn't they paint these? There's 3 of them. Like, there's a nicely painted Waterfire Dragon, Great Spawn. I feel like this is a bit lazy, but that's just me being nitpicky. It'd be nice to see a bit of paint on these. But yeah, dead excited these coming back, as well as the old Demon Princes. I have one of these. We call it Derp, just because the face looks a bit derpy. But I may have to pick up another one and build one up as an alternate kit. I basically have this one, but with this head. So it'd be nice to build one a bit more mutated. I like Demon Princes. I've not given them a true run in this edition yet, but these models hold a place in my heart, as silly as I think they look. As well as the old Spawn. I think this looks, again, my opinion, I think this looks miles better than the plastic ones. I suppose if you're running multiples, the advantage of the plastic ones is you can build multiple variants that look similar but different. But yeah, just more great things to come, hopefully. I hope this is a speedy release, unlike the Dwarves. I think there's about a 3-month window between Almanac release article and pre-order article. So with there being no new sculpts and just a bit of publications with the book and the cards, I'm hoping they say pre-order soon. I'm hoping it'll be a lot sooner than the Dwarves, maybe a month or so. Hopefully a month. Hopefully 2 weeks, but that's just me being optimistic and selfish. But yeah, just a quick bit of a chaotic one going through this, guys. I hope you enjoyed this. I know it's a weird first video for the channel. We definitely have more planned for the future. There's a group of us that will be participating in this channel. And then we should have content, just regular old world content at the end of the day in the form of battle reports, rule discussions, podcast talks, things like that. So, yeah, hope you enjoyed this, guys, and we hope to see you soon.